Hey guys, come here, welcome back to Langrisser M News from the future. Alright, we are currently coming to the last part of the Slayers Inverse series cross Langrisser collaboration. So alright, this part will be featuring the last protagonist of this collaboration, and he's none other than Gourry, the swordsman of light. So yep, if it's your childhood memory heroes, well, I got to tell you the good news. Here is the free SSR to be given to you in the game. And before I carry on, another sad news for you guys. Apparently he is not very strong and definitely not suitable for PvP. However, he should be strong in PvE. So enough said, let's get started. So right, Gourry, his factions are from Protagonist, Glory of Light, and Collaboration faction. His talent are as follows. The talent is known as the Swordsman of Light. So the effect are as follows. For each buff you have, increase your attack and defense by 5% to a max of 50%. And you gain additional effect for each buff you have. So when you have 5 buff onwards, you, after dealing damage with skills, you reduce the skill use by 2 CD. And if you have 8 buff, when you initiate attack and go into battle, you attack first. Then when you have 10 buff, when you initiate attack and go into battle, if you die in a battle, you will revive with 30% of your HP. So right, as you can see, this is pretty relatively weak compared to other heroes, because in order to receive the best effect and benefit for Gourry, you gotta give him a stack of a maximum of 10 buff, and more if not most of the time it is not easy to do, or you're definitely not able to achieve this in one turn easily, or not to mention you will not be spending so much time and resources just to specifically buff him instead. So yeah, this is kind of relatively weak, and in my opinion he's more like a weaker version of Ricky. So alright, let's repeat again. And okay, before we carry on, just remember that watch till the end of the video for the translation I did for you guys. So yep, alright, let's repeat. Number 1, for each buff you have, increase Gourry's attack and defense by 5% to a max of 50%, and you will gain additional effect based on the number of buff you have. So number 2, when you have 5 buff, after dealing damage with skills, you reduce the skill use by 2 turns. Number 3, when you have 8 buff, when you initiate attack and go into battle, you attack first. Number 4, when you have 10 buff, when you initiate attack and go into battle, if you die in battle, you will be revived with 30% HP. So that's pretty much for Gourry. I gotta say, it would be great if they reduce the buff effect needed by 2 times, and this means, like example, if you have maybe two buff, you gain the first buff effect, and then followed by, if you have 4 buff, when you initiate attack and go into battle, you attack first, then followed by, if you have 5 buff, when you initiate attack and go into battle, then you will die in battle, and not to mention to be revived or resurrect with 50% HP at least based on the current meta. So yeah, it's kind of like it's more like he's the second year of Langrisser mobile heroes, characters like Landius, but instead of cavalry and lancer, he is a swordsman. So right, we'll be going through on the exclusive skills only and 3C only. So right, this is his skills. I cannot find the actual name, the actual counterpart name that he used in the anime, so I just loosely did a rough translation for it. So this effect is known as Demon Slaying Blade. Okay, it's a 2C skills, it's a CD of 2 and the range is only 1. The AoE type is physical single target. The effects are as follows: attack and deal 1.2 times damage to target enemy. Then before battle, if any stats aside HP from enemy that is more than you, you will increase damage deal by 10%. After battle, reduce the stats of the target enemies by 10%. Increase your stats contrary to the enemy stats that are higher than you by 10%. And this whole effect will last for 2 turns. So in case it sounds confusing, this means that going to battle, if enemy is a mage, there's a high chance that or tank, there's a high chance that their magic defense is higher than yours. So before battle, also after the battle, you reduce the magic defense of the enemy by 10%, then increase your magic defense by 10%, and the effect will last for 2 turns. And since they didn't mention it's stackable, I'm presuming the max cap is just 10%. Unless it can be stacked, that would be great. So apparently this effect and skill is very good and great for PvE when fighting event challenge boss, because you greatly reduce the stat that you are losing out to the enemy, and it's all stats. As long as like enemy attack, defense, magic defense all greater than you, you'll reduce them by 10%, and you'll gain those you are weaker by 10%. However, the downside is that everything, also this effect only occurred after the battle. So yeah. So alright, let's repeat again. Number 1, attack and deal 1.2 times damage to target enemy. Number 2, before entering battle, if any stats aside HP from enemy that is more than you, you will gain the following effect. So the first effect increase damage deal to enemy by 10%. And second, after battle, reduce the stats of the target enemies by 10% that are more than you. And third, increase your stats that is lower to the enemy by 10%. And last but not least, the whole effect will last for 2 turns. So yep, that's for his exclusive skill 1. It is very normal and fairly weak, and however, if you manage to survive the battle, it would be great for these skills against your enemy, because these skills will become a great support for our other strong allies, most preferably your stronger mage or other stronger attackers, physical or magical. Yep. Okay, moving to exclusive skills 2. It is a passive. It is known as, yep. Okay, it is loosely translated as Ogre Stamina. So the effect is a 1C skills. It has CD, range, and AoE of nil. Because there is no CD, it's just a passive skills. The effect as follows: increase unit movement speed by +1, and after battle, recover unit HP by 15%. So this is slightly similar effect to one of Ricky's skills, except that he has a better part because he can increase his movement speed by +1. So after equipping with a decent boots, either defense or attack boots, you'll be able to gain movement speed to that of either cavalry or flyer units, so not too shabby. So alright, the effects are as follows. Let's repeat again. Number 1, increase unit movement speed by +1, and number 2, after battle, recover unit HP by 15%. So yep, that's it. Okay, last but not least, we're finally coming to his 3C. He has both passive and active skills. The skill is known as Sword of Light. Yep, like his actual counterpart from the anime itself. This is his best hidden weapon at least I can remember is from the first arc or from the first 1 to 2 seasons of the show. I'm not sure if have any new better skills afterwards, because I only managed to see the first 2 seasons, the first like 20 plus or 50 episodes, the first arc where they fight to the clone of Razzle, the clone of the Rake demon enemy. For those who know what I'm saying, you know. If not, no worries about it. So right, the 3C skills. CD is 3 turns. The range is 2 blocks. The AoE type is physical single target skills. Okay, the passive effects are when battling with demon class unit, you will increase damage deal by 20%. So again, it's a skill for you to fight against demon class and benefit out of it. This hero or this banner hero are definitely a very great help for new players who just come into the world of Langrisser, because during the first arc of the game in the storyline, the second half of the first arc, more or if not most of the enemy created by the Bozo army are from demon units or demon class, and not to mention for Time Reef towards the end of the arc or the Time Reef chapters, more or if not most of the enemies are again from demon class, so you get a very great benefit from all these effects. So yeah, this is pretty cool. So alright, let's repeat again. Number 1, when battling with demon class unit, increase the damage deal by 20%. Okay, moving to his active skills. Okay, attack and deal 1.5 times damage to target enemy. Then for each buff you have, increase your damage deal by 3% to a max cap of 30%. Number 3, close combat soldiers you bring will attack together and you will not receive penalty. Last, after using these skills, the buff you have will not be reduced. So okay, the last part sounds pretty good, and I guess if you want to spam these skills, the best to give him an enchantment will be Claw. If it's trigger, every turn if it happens to trigger, the buff you have with you will always stays and it will not reduce, so you can constantly keep as high amount of buff with you as possible. But then again, trying to keep 10 buff, it's definitely not that easy. And not to mention, clock is not 100% proc rate, so yeah. Alright, let's repeat again. Number 1, attack and deal 1.5 times damage to target enemy. Number 2, for each buff you have, increase damage deal by 3%. The max cap is at 30%. Number 3, close combat soldiers you bring will attack together and you'll not take penalty for it. Number 4, after using these skills, the buff you have will not be reduced. So yep, that's it for Gourry. Him and Lena are the only characters with only 2 exclusive skills, and The other Guardians is the only one that has the benefit or the honor to have 3 exclusive skills. Last but not least, before we end this channel, what did you guys think about Gourry? If it is good, bad, or meh, leave it down in the comment sections below. This is Kami, and thanks you guys for watching. Remember to like and subscribe. See you guys on the next video regarding new anniversary SP heroes and more. Goodbye.